Hello everyone and welcome back to the 84th episode of PandTha Talks.
Hello.
He's here, he's functional, very slightly.
Whoa. Don't get carried away here. Don't be putting me under these standards.
I thought I'd try. So last week we asked a question. We didn't really get any answers, so I'm going to phrase that question again at the beginning of this episode. Mainly because beginning of the episode is where we get most traction and most people see it. We're just basically wondering from last week what people's favourite genres are in games. Reason for that was there was a clip last week at the end where me and Will were going off at this guy who did not know what the hell he was talking about. So that was fun. And he was wanting one genre to be a completely different genre, which made zero sense in the end. So we were curious what people's were. And to lead on to this, today we're going to be discussing the rise and fall of some iconic game franchises over the years. That's why, Will, I was asking you for suggestions of game franchises earlier on. Which might make a bit more sense now.
Yeah.
We'll also be covering, for a brief amount of time, the PS5 Pro and all the crap that's coming with that, because we've got to at least cover some news at least once a week. You
Professional idiots.
Exactly. But that sounds like us, to be honest.
No, there's nothing else to be said. No.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to think of a better alternative, but there's no better way to define it than professional idiots.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's pretty much what the episode is going to be. What I am going to say before we get started this week, because I don't usually say it, if you do enjoy, feel free to like, follow, subscribe, etc. Join the Discord, it's where we're usually talking, discussing, and adding any research articles that we find through the week will get put in here, so on and so forth. So feel free to do so, and we hope you enjoy the episode. So,
where are we starting then?
First, I've got to fight with this.
God damn it! Every time
it's broken. I broke it.
Fight and argue over something. No,
that's fine. So apparently I've broken my recording software, which I'm kind of impressed by.
Good job.
Yeah, don't know how I've managed that. Anyways, we'll start off with the PS5. So, the PS5 Pro, Will. You came to me this morning because you'd heard about it.
I was surprised, to be honest, that you hadn't sent me anything about it.
I keep a lot of things quiet until time to bring them up.
That's fair.
Because as you know yourself, I pretty much collect a lot of information through the week, and that's a lot of what ends up in the articles by the end of the week. On top of that, for example, with this one, I had the information on PS5 Pro. I'll be honest, by the time we got to this week, I'd forgotten about it. So you bringing it up actually reminded me a lot of what was going on with it. So I had heard rumours that this daftly priced item, because Jesus Christ, I think it's like, that's showing 679 Sony PS5 disc console, PS Plus Premium. That's not even the Pro. Let's have a look here. Yeah, get over it. Are you not going to give us a price? Oh. Appears to be very powerful, but it's $700 plus another $80 if you want to buy the disc drive accessory, since the console doesn't have one. A lot of gamers have been left wondering exactly how powerful it is in order to justify the cost. Right. I'd heard rumours that the PS5 could run in 8K. At which I have to ask the question. So, this is the thing I want to know. Show me an 8K TV.
God damn.
So, Will, you buying an 8K TV, mate?
No, I don't have a TV to begin with because I don't need
Same.
one.
I don't think. Oh, that is 8K apparently. Well, they are getting cheaper. I'm gonna say, to a lot of it, 8K wasn't really a thing that we did yet. We all kind of kept back away from it for a while. Anyways,
Don't know why people are acting like they can see more than 4K. To be honest,
no idea. I don't get involved with it.
don't think our eyes are good enough for that.
Well, that's the excuse that they used back when consoles couldn't go above 60. Well, couldn't go above 30. Sorry. Back when we used to talk about like 60 FPS and above on PC, they used to go, well, the human eye can't see above 24 frames per second. No,
Right.
of course it
Sure.
can't. But at the same time, what it can do is it can recognize smoothness. And the more frames you got, the smoother an action is.
Mm-hmm.
Very complicated. But hey ho. Welcome, PlayStation 5 Pro, the most visually impressive way to play games on PlayStation. Yeah, I'm happy you added that bit. Features including GPU upgrade, advanced ray tracing, and PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution takes players to new heights.
Is there a version of DLSS or what?
Pretty much, yeah. You've like hit the nail on the head. I mean, I suppose it's not very difficult if you abbreviate that. PSSR. Yeah, I see why you got that so quick. Update on September 26, 2024. Pre-orders will be available direct from PlayStation Direct at directplay.playstation.com and participating retailers and territories where direct.playstation.com isn't available on October 10th, 2024. Pre-orders will be available at all other participating retailers. Over the last 4 years since the launch of the PS5, we've worked hard to continue.
Wait, it's been 4 years?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, I
God.
think this kicked off like during the heat of COVID, I'd say.
Can't believe it's been that long already.
Yeah. Because if you remember, back when we started this channel 2 years ago, we were still talking about scalping, and that had calmed down a lot back then. And now it's like non-existent. Until this launches. Guaranteed it'll kick off again. We've worked hard to continuously evolve the console experience and deliver the great games our players expect from us. Today I'm incredibly proud to announce the next step in that evolution and welcome PlayStation 5 Pro to the PlayStation family, our most advanced and innovative console hardware today, at least for the next year. I have to add that because guaranteed, within the next year, maybe 2 years, the PS6 is going to have to be released. What's the point in spending $700 for a console that's only going to be top of its reign for a year or two?
One of the one of the episodes we covered, did we not have like a rough release time frame for the PS6?
Yeah, 2025, 2026.
Yeah, so we are going to be expecting it within like at least a year.
Oh yeah, guaranteed we are. But my question is, if they're struggling with this for development, what are they expecting out of a next-gen console? Because next-gen consoles are usually the big things. Now, if you look at the difference between the PlayStation 1 and the PlayStation 2, there was a big jump in quality. PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 3, another big jump in quality. PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4, another big jump in quality. PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5, the jump in quality was so fucking small.
What's the actual difference here between the 5 and the Pro? Other than it can supposedly run, sure, it can display in 8K, but what can it actually run in 8K?
So, these are the improvements. Upgraded GPU, with PS5 Pro upgrading the GPU that has 67% more compute units than the current PS5 console and 28% faster memory. Overall, this enables up to 45% faster rendering for gameplay, making the experience much smoother. Advanced ray tracing. I don't think it's that advanced, considering, not a single place in PC have ever had to call it advanced. They just call it ray tracing. You're just trying to make out that you're better. That's all it is, PlayStation. You're not advanced ray tracing, it's just ray tracing.
It's funny because you got these upgrades with the GPU that's going to make it run faster, but then you're going to turn their advanced ray tracing on, and it's going to run worse than the old PS5.
Oh,
guaranteed.
You got that on. Especially because of this little bit. We've added even more powerful ray tracing that provides more dynamic reflection and refraction of light. This allows the rays to be cast at double and at times triple the speeds of the current PS5 console. Yeah, that's going to annihilate your system. AI-driven upscaling. So they're using AI to upscale, which is pretty much what DLSS does now.
Yeah.
But that's the RTX 40 series, I believe, and 30 series.
Yeah. Might only be 40 series.
I think it's got to be.
There's I can't remember what it's called. One of the crazy settings that you have access to nowadays, and what the 40 series can do.
We're also introducing PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, an AI-driven upscaling that uses a machine learning-based technology to provide super sharp image clarity by adding an extraordinary amount of detail.
It is DLSS 3.5 that the 40 series has access to, which is basically just a seriously upgraded scale, I guess.
Like, if you didn't see the bloody trailer for that, for the use case of that in Night City, that looked stunning.
Yeah, that's where I first heard about it.
We covered that, actually.
Probably.
Yeah, that's why I think we've heard about it.
PS5. I literally knew from it because, RJ, obviously, and all of his great brains. I was telling him about it because I was trying to let him, trying to inform him of the PC that he has bought himself, since he knows nothing of it. And that was one of the games I knew had DLSS 3.5.
Yeah, for my own sanity, people who are watching this, don't do what that guy did. Don't buy a PC that's expensive, that's got loads of high-tech things in it, and not have a fucking clue what you're buying. Don't do it. I will hunt you down personally.
Genuinely sound like you said you will hunt them down personally.
Hunt. Right. So, provide gamers with amazing graphics and high frame rates. The thing is, this is just the console. What games have you got to run this?
Yeah, as I said, it can display it, sure, but what can it run?
Yeah. Other enhancements include PS5 Pro Game Boost, which can apply to more than 8,500 backward compatible PS4 games playable on the PS5 Pro.
Most of which were probably also playable on the PS3.
Yeah, you should be fair. Can't argue that. This feature may stabilize or improve the performance of supported PS4 and PS5 games. Enhanced image quality for PS4 games is also available to improve the resolution on select PS4 games. PS5 Pro will also launch with the latest wireless technology, Wi-Fi 7, in territories supporting the standard. VRR and 8K gaming are also supported. Why, though? Just that's my big question. Just why? If you're creating a system to this specification, don't get me wrong. Yeah, you can make it look as nice as you want. That's like the big thing about PC, and you can make them look however you like. Do whatever you wish, sure. But when you're charging $700, or is it? Does it work out £700? I don't know.
That's the thing I've been seeing. Apparently, it's both £700 and $700.
Yeah. So in that case, Yeah, so it's like 700, 780 for both. That's fine. But why would I buy a piece of hardware that is so ingrained in everything that I can't modify, I can't do what I want on, I can't record, I can't really do much? And yeah, I
It's
know you
also
can use their
very
own
limited.
priority. Yeah,
It's very limited in what you can do with it outside of whatever Sony lets you do.
that's kind of what I'm more about. I like my PC because of all the things I can do.
Freedom.
Yeah, pretty
Freedom.
much. Now, for 780, you can buy a pretty decent PC. I'd
I already
argue,
saw many TikToks where you can get PCs twice as powerful now
yeah,
than what they offer.
oh, definitely. And you'd be able to run it, if
You'd
not
be
better than this,
Yeah, and you'd
with
be able to
ease.
play anything you wanted as well, not just Sony titles.
Yeah. So, I'm struggling to justify 700, 780 when I can do anything with a system like mine. Or, just a better question, let's have a look at these games. Some of the games you can look forward to include blockbuster hits from PlayStation Studios and our third-party partners, such as Alan Wake 2, if I recall correctly, that's on PC. Assassin's Creed
Yeah.
Shadows, that's coming to PC. Demon Souls, I think that is PlayStation exclusive. Dragon's Dogma 2, pretty sure that's on PC. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, not too certain on. Gran Turismo 7, I'm not too certain on. Hogwarts Legacy, on PC. Horizon Forbidden West, on PC. Marvel Spider-Man 2, think that's probably going to be coming to PC very soon. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, on PC. The Crew Motorfest, I think that's on PC. First Descendant on PC, and The Last of Us 2 Part 2 Remastered, I'm not sure.
Because that went so well last time on PC.
Oh yeah, I know, right? But over half of that list were on PC.
It says as well that it can take advantage of the Pro's features. What's it going to change?
Yeah, and not to be funny, half of these games that I listed that are on PC can't even take advantage of a full spec PC currently. And you're making me want to test this. No chance. Oh, there we go. £700. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same price for in
€800.
dollars.
Oof.
Yeah, it's the same price in dollars as it is in sterling, which makes no sense.
Yeah.
So if you're in America, basically, you're getting it cheaper than everyone else
Oh,
for no
definitely.
reason.
Oh, also, just to add something, it includes a 2 terabyte SSD. That's it. That's pretty much one of the main selling points. I don't really see the point in getting something like this, a Pro Edition of a console. The only reason I see it being even acceptable slightly is, well, it's not even acceptable in the slightest, but it's just brand loyalty. That's the reason people buy them.
Mm-hmm.
Just brand loyalty. I'm going to try just one more thing, actually, before we, wait, is this? Sorry, I'm trying to, shift this back. But it doesn't seem to want to. Nope. I've just lost it. I mean, at least it's still recording. Times like this, eh?
Can't wait for you to end the recording and find out it's all gone horrible.
Don't say that.
It
Don't.
wouldn't be the first time.
It wouldn't, no. It's happened once
Probably not going to be
before.
the last time.
Don't say that. Anyways,
Yes,
shall
it's an
we?
absurd price point.
Yeah. Do you want to move away from the PlayStation side and move on to something more interesting?
I want to see the vote.
You
What's
want
the
to
rest
see
of the
the
vote?
vote?
Yeah.
Now,
90% saying it's too expensive.
if you've got PlayStation fans who are voting this, Because I'm just going to be honest here, not many people trust IGN. I don't trust IGN. I won't vote for IGN. I avoid them at all cost. So, you've got a bunch of Sony fans voting, and even they think the price is too much.
I mean, when the consoles first released, what were they, like 500?
Yeah.
And you gotta bet the majority of people would have bought them off the get go.
Oh yeah.
Like even when like the discless version came out that was cheaper, that was better. I'm sure there were probably very few people who even got that.
Mm.
And now you're releasing another version of it for 700 more.
Yep.
That means, and you already know, Sony fanboys being Sony fanboys, there's going to be a ton of them that's going to buy it.
Oh, 100% there are.
They're going to have spent over $1,000 on the same thing.
I think I remember seeing this. Here it is. Console prices through the years adjusted for inflation. So it went through. I saw this on Twitter. So, like the Atari 2600, $199 back then, $1,033
Yeah,
in modern day.
I didn't know they were that expensive.
Well, that's 1977 for you, mate.
Yeah, and $200. That's
Yeah.
a decent amount of money.
Back then, it was worth that much. ColecoVision, 175, 571. Atari 5200, 269, 878. Nintendo Entertainment
Everything
System.
is at the very least doubled.
Yeah. So then you got the NES, which 200, talking about 600. It mostly keeps around this, apart from a couple outliers. SNK, Neo Geo.
I mean, that was $650. What the hell?
Yeah. You'll see the Philips CDI, the 3DO. Ironically, though, if you look at the ones that are extremely expensive, those are also the ones that you never really heard of.
No, not really.
Exactly. Super Nintendo, I guarantee you've heard of.
Oh,
It was priced reasonably.
Same with the Atari.
Yeah.
The NES.
Atari
They're the typical
Jaguar,
ones.
Sega Saturn, PlayStation, 618. Sega Saturn, Nintendo 64, and this way it starts kind of like averaging around similar prices. But even if you look at PlayStation 3, $499, $778 today.
Bro, could we just pay attention to the size? 20 gig and 60 gig?
Yeah.
That's crazy difference, man.
But then look what's right at the bottom.
Absurd.
PlayStation 5 Pro sits at the bottom. Notice how they didn't put the disc version on there.
But the Xbox one was only 300, whereas the PlayStation one was
That's
400.
the Series S.
I know, but even they've just been cheaper than Sony overall as well.
Oh yeah. Mate, the Series S, we've discussed it a couple of times why I think it was actually one of the best moves for Xbox and for gaming. But they made a console dedicated to basically someone's introduction into gaming. Doesn't need to be amazing, doesn't need to be perfect, just needs to run modern games. And that's all they made it for.
Look at that price difference though. You get an Xbox for 300, or you can get a PlayStation for 700.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
So yeah.
Kind of makes you wonder if they've been putting time into development for this PS5 Pro.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas an Xbox, if they don't have anything coming out, do you think they're going to be better when the next generation comes out? If Sony's been wasting their time with this generation still,
I'll be honest, I'm not completely certain.
It's going to be interesting anyway.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
The only interest I have in consoles is the rivalry between the two.
Yeah, just seeing the developments. At the end of the day, the way I look at it, their developments for their little console wars creates more technology and better technology that can then be used in our PCs. So,
Yes, I want to use advanced ray tracing, please.
fuck
My
off.
bog standard ray tracing is just not good enough.
So, let's move on. So, as I said earlier, we're going to be discussing about the rise and fall of some of the greatest, some infamous series that were out there. An example of this, actually, I found out this the other day, and I'm still fucking gutted about it. Do you remember the infamous games, Will?
Yeah,
Do you remember the prototype games, Will?
prototype. It sounds familiar.
Give me a minute. I actually have it on my computer. I'll just
I
show you
know
a
of
photo.
them. I don't think I really looked at them much.
So much fun.
I know the name.
Tentacle Arm Man. But that's at least how I call him. This guy. Doing all the weird
really
shit.
know much of it, but I knew the name.
Right. Reason I bring it up. Prototype, one of my favourite games of all time. Infamous, also one of my favourite games of all time. Apparently, Sony was going to be working on a fucking crossover game and then cancelled it. I have never been more fucking angry in my life. Found that the other day. So fucking annoyed. Anyways, that's a good example of the shit I'm talking about. So, we're going to be covering a few game series, as you can see at the top. The game series I've chosen to cover, and will possibly add more depending. The first one will be the Saints Row series. After that, it'll be Call of Duty. I know it's not dead, but it is definitely fallen.
I would say it's mostly like either older people who, now I'm not on about old, but older, that just come home as like one of the easy games to hop on and play a few rounds, or it's just kids.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. After that, Deus Ex. Thank you, Will.
One of my favorite games ever.
After that, one of my favorite games ever, Splinter Cell. And finally, because Will's pointed out something so wonderful to me, just think of any game series that has released recently. Assassin's Creed. Feels only right.
I wasn't wrong though.
No, you were not wrong in the slightest.
Any
That's
game
what
that's
upsets me.
part of a game series has had a new game of that series released recently, as in the last year or two, is probably underperformed in serious amounts compared to its previous titles.
Definitely. So, let's discuss starting with Saints Row. So
I remember playing Saints Row, man. I still remember playing it.
Oh yeah, they were like fucking top tier games when they released.
The third was my favorite.
Oh yeah, it was most. Personally, me, I loved the third a lot. It was fucking phenomenal. But I could never get over the nostalgia that I got from playing the second one. It was something else, that game. It was still treating itself a bit too serious at the time, but it was fun, really enjoyable. And then you had the third, which was just... It was phenomenal.
Fun.
Yeah. No one can argue that. It was phenomenal. So, we'll cover the years, and then we'll cover what happened, what the development stories were, stuff like that. And we'll discuss a bit in detail about what we think were the cause and what basically kicked off. And I'll pull up some articles about it. So that'll be the routine for each one as we go, just so everyone's aware. And we'll start that. So, Saints Row 1 came out in 2006. It was their first attempt at the game. It was brand new series, brand new IP, and they were pretty much following on the backs of like GTA. Mindless slaughter, some missions to do, side activities, stuff like that. When Saints Row 2 came out, because they had a pretty much ongoing story with Saints Row 1, and they led it straight on to Saints Row 2. They used a lot of reoccurring characters. But the big difference was they kind of stepped up on humour. with the sequel. One of my favourite 2 activities I remember doing in Saints Row 2 the most, insurance fraud, which meant you got hit by a car and just got launched, which
That
they
was in the
continued.
3rd as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my other favourite, I can't remember the name of it, septic something. Basically, you went around with a septic tank and you sprayed shit all over people's cars and buildings. And if you covered the cars or people with enough of it, they just slid. So you could just cover a car and it would slide along up the street and then blow up into some people. It was great fun. Sadly, they never continued with that one. I really wish they did because it was one of my favourites. But they started to go a bit more to this humour side, but they also kept some of the story that they were building from the first game, and they continued it, and they kept you still pretty well ingrained. By the time of the 3rd one, well, it just went all, let's just throw all the shit at the window and see if we do well, and they did. They did really well. They wanted to just up the ante, make it more insane, laughable, amusing, and they knocked it out the fucking park, if I'm brutally honest. I remember watching the videos for this game releasing in 2011 and having it pre-ordered on my PC. It was so enjoyable.
Fun fact of the 3rd, when you got infinite grenades unlocked, and you got the underbarrel attachment for the AR, if you crouched, there was no fire rate cap for the grenade launcher.
That's not good, but it's you break every game.
Surprisingly, for how old the game is, it handles it pretty well.
Yeah. After that, Saints Row 4, which is where a lot of us start to feel some sort of disconnect with the series. Because they were right in one way, which was, how else, after all they've done, what could come next? They already own 2 cities at this point. What the hell comes next? Presidency. And then space. Well, there's not much I can say about that. Just space. Aliens attack, invade, the Earth gets destroyed, and you use a simulation of Steelport from the 3rd game that's been overtaken by Zinyak, who's the alien overlord. And basically, you've got to defeat the simulation and all that jazz. All good fun. It's enjoyable because you go in and out of the simulation. You're doing some bits here and there, which is pretty cool. Unlocking more cast. A certain Mr. Gat returns, which everyone knew because the next one is Saints Row Get Out of Hell. It went a bit too far for a lot of people, which was sad, but it was true. And people got a bit kind of sick of it. It was sad because I did enjoy it. It had some really good parts and some good moments. And
oh my god!
But I think the superpowers kind of destroyed a lot of the enjoyability.
Yeah, when you think of Saints Row and you just combine it with superpowers, it doesn't really sound right.
No, it became a bit too easy. It's like, oh yeah, you can buy all these upgrades for vehicles. But why would I? I've got super run and super jump that allows me to fucking glide across a city in 5 minutes. Yeah. What's the point? It was dumb. Because there was an entire side mission dedicated to customizing a car, like in the 4th and the 3rd one. You know, where you've got to customize a car with Pierce. There's an entire mission dedicated to that. But you've got your superpowers, so you're sort of there why? I'm never going to use this again. Saints Row Get Out of Hell, that was where things went just a bit too daft.
Yeah, I was thinking that it didn't really do too well, did it?
No, it didn't. It was a co-op game. One player plays as Johnny Gat, the other plays as Kenzie Kensington. And you're trying to save the boss, who you play as in the first 4 Saints Row games, because he's being kidnapped by Lucifer to marry his daughter. I know it might sound like I'm high as a kite right now, but I can promise you I am stone sober.
Questionable.
So, you'd expect there to be like some sort of proper story to this, and the answer is not really. There's some little bits, like there's like 3 main missions to do. Once you've done those main missions, go around, get a load of experience, and keep leveling up. Eventually, you'll piss Lucifer off enough for him to want to fight you. Then you go in, kick Lucifer's ass. His daughter will help you, and then you'll get the boss back, and you fuck off. It took me
Sounds
about 3 to
exhilarating.
5 hours. It's really not a difficult game. It's not very fun, to be honest. But that was where you started to know that the series was dropping down. And then came Saints Row: Friendship is Magic.
God.
Will already knows I call that game this, because I got very upset with it. It was the remaster, which for starters, you took all the other characters out. Now, you left this game at a very good point, because what you did was you turned around to us and said, we've got a time machine. We can go back in time. We can fix things. But, okay, that's fine. Do a game dedicated after that. Everyone would have been happy. But instead, you made new characters. Which, as I found while playing this game, turns out it's in the same universe as these ones. I know this because right at the end of the game, they reveal that a tape you've been listening to constantly through the entire fucking game came out of Steelport, which is where these 2 games were set and where you were at the beginning mission of this game. But anyways, that's not my reason for being annoyed. My reason for being annoyed is as simple as this. Since when can you make a game as rough as Saints Row make the entire ending? Oh yeah, the reason that the guy betrayed you and did everything that he did is because he wanted your friends and didn't think you treated them well. That's the big bad boss's reason for trying to kill you. Because he thought he could treat your friends better than you do.
Which is left off at the 3rd game.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I'm fine with the 4th. As I said, it did go down, but there was still some good times to be had with it. But these 2 could definitely have been done without. Anyways.
I didn't bother touching the remaster.
No. So we'll just quickly cover a little controversy with these games as well. So with 2008's Saints Row 2, they had lost, the files. I don't know if you'd heard about this. They lost the main files for them. So if you've tried to play Saints Row 2 on PC for the longest time, it's quite laggy. It struggles a lot. There's some mods out there that fix a lot of it, but nothing can be completely resolved unless it's by development. And they lost the Saints Row 2 development kit and main files, so they were unable to resolve these issues. Saints Row the 3rd, that one went off without a hitch, to be honest, for the most part. Saints Row 4, same thing. Get Out of Hell received pretty negative reviews, to be honest with you, as expected. And this game is better off never being mentioned again. I think I actually have it somewhere. Oh, look.
It's 70% off at the moment.
Not surprised. Can you just... Yeah, there you go. 63% positive, 59% positive. It is the cringiest shit I've ever played. This game is so boring, uninspired, and soulless. It's not a Saints Row game. It stole Saints Row's identity. Yeah, I'd agree with that. It's dumb as shit. The writing team was definitely a team of 40-plus-year-olds who think putting a hashtag before any sentence is comedic genius. the humor is basically hashtag Rufflecopter. And the main story ends with a terrible ending about the main villain, who isn't the main villain for 98% of the game, by the way, wanting to destroy our lives because, I kid you not, because he's lonely and wants to take our place so he can have friends. There you go. So,
yeah, it's tough.
now to get to the meat of the question. Why did Saints Row go from what it was to what it became? Considering it was one of those games back in the early days that it didn't care who it offended, didn't care who it upset. It was a game that was meant to be that way. Yet over time, it kind of degraded. It started to try and accept these modern rationales and the changes in the modern world, and then add that to itself, thinking that it was going to get a larger audience from it. But as controversy goes, this was picked up on before it originally released. And people expected it. So people said, once it releases, the game will end up failing. Games journalists were kind of taking the piss out of people for the longest time. They were really taking the piss. It was actually kind of mad. And
damn, Roy, you're 34 years old, 36 years old.
no,
Holy
I put a random
shit.
year in. Anyways, they were taking the piss out of him because people were claiming the game was going to die. Obviously, it hadn't died yet. And then all of a sudden, on September 1st last year, Volition was no more. And they had made some truly amazing games. Free Space, Descendants, Red Faction, which was one of my all-time favourites, the Saints Row series. I'm not even going to talk about that game because you're about on par with that. And at that point, it didn't age too well. But there is one last thing they did leave us, which was Simple Minds, Don't You Forget About Me, which I thought was kind of funny. But yeah, Saints Row died more due to it trying to expand its audience than trying to maintain the one it currently had. And it was sad. It really was. But if you look at it, I wouldn't say they lost their balls, but they just stopped wanting to create things that was for the audience they'd already captured. Instead, they wanted to move towards a brand new audience, away from the already loyal fans, and try again. And that was the worst thing they could have done for the game. How the fuck do we cover this one?
We could opt it to not to.
We could. Do you opt to not to?
Kind of go against the whole point of the channel.
True. Let's not do a Saints Row.
I mean, we could easily go back to when I was playing Call of Duty and like whatever came before Ghosts.
Whatever came
was for a lot
goes.
for a lot of people was when Call of Duty stopped being Call of Duty.
Yeah, see, World at War was my big thing.
Yeah,
Fucking
mine too.
adored it. Call of Duty 4, that was also good.
That was a
Modern
lot of
Warf-
people's starting point was Modern Warfare.
These two were like the big ones. Modern Warfare 2 also. Black Ops 1,
People
phenomenal.
love Black Ops as well.
Yeah. Modern Warfare 3, I enjoyed that. Black Ops 2, I enjoyed that.
Black Ops 2 was phenomenal.
Ghosts, I actually really enjoyed the story of that. I really wish they continued it.
I love Ghosts. The issue with Ghosts though was between doing it on PS3 and having PS4 thrown at them, and then obviously same on Xbox.
Yeah.
The game did not get as much development as it should have.
Yeah.
And people didn't really enjoy it. I enjoyed the third game mode as well. The Aliens, I think, was Extinction was really cool.
Yeah.
Something different, something nice. But it was after Ghosts as well that people really didn't like the games anymore. Black Ops 3 went to shit. Advanced Warfare and Infinite Warfare were just awful. They went way too futuristic. And after that, it just, I don't know, it never had the same fans that they used to have. It's now just really appealing to kids.
See, Modern Warfare Remaster and Modern Warfare 2 Remaster, I think they did really well with. Because it felt more like the old, this is a modern, just fucking war shooter. I was fully for that.
I mean, it's a remaster. It shouldn't be changed. It should just be updated.
Yeah. That's pretty much what it was. No, sorry. Not a remaster. It's like a recreation, isn't it? Oh, that's the way to put it. Black Ops Cold War, I actually really enjoyed.
Cold War was good, mainly because it felt so smooth, especially the zombies. I actually recently played zombies again.
Oh, the zombies on Cold War is good fun. I enjoy it.
And the change for the gameplay kind of brought it back to life.
Yeah,
because Black Ops 2 was the last time I played it and really cared for it because of all the workshop content you get. You can keep going with it, but like otherwise, it was starting to die down for me.
Yeah.
Whereas Cold War, with the changes they made in the gameplay and how just all your equipment and guns and all worked, were so much better. The camo grind, which I did a lot of at the start of when the game first came out, was ridiculous because you had to level up the gun so much before you could unlock the challenges for the camos, which was stupid.
I'll be honest, they've started to annoy me with Modern Warfare 3, so I've been playing that recently. And in Modern Warfare 1, Modern Warfare 2, in multiplayer, I would always use the trying to remember the name of it. It's a lever action rifle. The Lockwood, something like that. I used to use that as one of my primary weapons. Anyways, instead of just getting to the rank and unlocking it, like you did in the other two games, no, you have to first get to rank 55, which is max rank. Then you get a challenge to unlock the gun. And the challenge I have is I have to kill 5 enemies in one life with any marksman rifle 10 times in a row.
In one life?
5
10 times in a row?
Yeah, 5 kills, 1 life, 10 times in a row. Well, not not consecutively, but just 10 times.
That's okay. That's okay. You were making it sound like you had to do that all.
I fucking would have hated it if I did. It's been rough as it is. I'm on 7 out of 10, and it's taken me a good week to get my head around it. I don't like it. It's too much. Whereas before I used to enjoy using a gun, now it's locked behind something. I'm not able to get hold of it. That's skill. I understand that, but whatever. It's still one of my gripes.
Yeah.
I suppose another thing that really changed in the development of the game, and I do kind of agree with this. There was something I've been seeing a lot online recently. At one time a day, Call of Duty was all about the gunplay. That was its big thing. And over recent years, it's become more and more about movement than it has been about guns.
Which isn't what Call of Duty is.
No.
And that's sort of why I think Infinite Warfare, Advanced Warfare, and even Black Ops 3 multiplayer wasn't liked, because it was all this freaking flying in the air and stupid shit. You just say, as if jump shotting wasn't bad enough, now people were just levitating upwards.
Exactly. Now, at one time a day, if you could outshoot someone, you were okay. Don't get me wrong, you'd zigzag. That was the most in movement you were able to do. But who in their right mind is going to be doing some of this shit that they do in fucking modern Call of Duty? There was something like, if you, in the new Black Ops game that's coming out, I forgot, Black Ops 6, that's it. If you run, tap B to slide, tap B again to stand up instantly, and then press A to jump, you basically end up going from like a diagonal slide to immediately diving on them in the air. It's like, why the fuck would anyone want to play against you?
Yeah, I've seen some really stupid shit. And if they want to have any, I don't. Obviously, Call of Duty's not really had much realism in it, but they do try some things. And the way I've seen people moving, like I've seen people just diving into walls
Yeah.
and suddenly spinning around. You know, if you dive into a wall in real life, it's not going to end well.
Oh no. So we'll say, I'll try and summarize this and tell me whether you agree, disagree, and add anything you'd like to it. So Call of Duty started off well because it was all about wars. It was ingrained in that war time, like World War II, World War One, that sort of stuff, moving into some of the modern day stuff. And that's where it kind of like peaked at. And then as they've
Then
moved
they're
on,
trying to go futuristic.
yeah, they went futuristic. Now they're trying to bring it back to modern day, and a lot of the older audience is looking at it and sort of going, "But have you really changed?" And the movement systems have become a bit too much. It's not about the shooting; it's all about the movement. It's not about how you play in that regard, and that's pretty much caused a lot of people's disconnect.
Yep.
That all sound about right?
For the most part, yeah.
There you go. Call of Duty
Hey,
quickly done.
my only view on it is apparently Black Ops 6 Zombies is going to be pretty good. The thing I said about the camos on Cold War, apparently they're all going to be available from the get go or something. So yeah,
That's all right then.
I hope.
Well, I'll let you know when it releases, because I'll have it
Sorry, I have it
downloaded on
pre-installed.
Oh, did you buy it or something?
No, I get 12 months free Game Pass Ultimate with my Wi-Fi.
Ah, gotcha.
Which I recently had to change over.
Oof.
Yeah.
So, well, I guess you get to take the front seat on this one. Deus Ex.
I mean, I don't really know what to say about them. They're great games. They're really enjoyable to play, and even doing some of the achievements, which in some games sound dreadful, such as going through the entire level without setting off an alarm or without killing someone, so you have to just knock them all out. It was actually really fun, which is a couple of things I did, especially in Human Revolution. I only played Human Revolution and Mankind Divided. I hadn't played the older ones, and it's quite the jump when you look back at the older ones before Human Revolution. They look like completely different games, and you can see from the time they were released that they're gonna be.
Oh yeah.
But they've quite a good story. I enjoyed it anyway. And the gameplay of them is quite fun. And
So,
leveling up your augments as you go through.
my question is, Will, if you were to describe these games to someone who's never played them before, how would you describe them?
You can go through two options. You can go all sneaky beaky with your science pistol crawling through vents like a little rat, which is exactly what I did. That was very fun. Or you can literally get augments where you can just smash through walls and beat the shit out of people and just slam people into the ground.
I'm surprised you didn't do the second one. That's very much more your nature. Fuck you, I'm taking you down.
Not that loud. If I'm doing that, it's usually just a bullet straight to the face.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't matter how I do it, the quicker the better. But I like my sneak style as well.
So, what's this about a Deus Ex game that they've cancelled?
Well, there was going to be a next one, but apparently it's been cancelled. I didn't know anything about it. I just every now and then games that I did enjoy playing, I always wondered if there's going to be updates, or for example with Deus Ex, if there's going to be another one. Oh,
This was back in February of this year. This is from the voice actor. Hey all, Elias Tofexis. I'm not very good with names. Here, I wanted to come on here and say thank you for this page, your wonderful messages over the years, and your continued unbelievably strong support. As for Jensen, we say goodbye, but hopefully not farewell. Maybe someone else will buy the license. Maybe we'll make an animated series or finish the game. Elon Musk is a big fan. I think he has some money. Someone ask him. Winky face. As you guys all know, Jensen is one of the characters I've played who is near and dear to my heart. It seems I will always be associated with him, and that's just fine with me. Alas, his story seems done. I'm relatively certain the game that was cancelled was not an Adam Jensen story, so the cancellation angers me more than anything else because friends at Eidos got laid off. Video game companies right now are in a weird place. I hope it gets straightened out. Again, I just wanted to thank you all for all the time you've spent sending fan art, stories, and general messages of love. The amount of cameo appearances I've had to make solely for Jensen fans makes my heart smile. I hope you like the other work I'm fortunate enough to put out there, but I know that whatever the character is, he won't mean as much as Adam Jensen does to a lot of you and to me. For the love and support, I asked for this. So yeah, last month, embattled parent company Embracer Group reportedly cancelled the new Deus Ex games after 2 years of development. 97 members of staff were laid off from Eidos Montreal, were let go.
well, there's the reason.
Yeah. That's the reason that one ended. So, the games themselves were phenomenal. But...
Yep. But no surprise, though, that over what we've discussed over the last year and a half, about the continuous layoffs, that games are getting cancelled by it now.
Oh no, 100%. I'd honestly argue going back and playing the Deus Ex games is well worth it.
Yeah, they're great fun.
Oh, 100% they are. Now it's one that's near and dear to my heart. Splinter Cell. Absolutely adore these games. So I can't say that many people haven't sat down and played a Splinter Cell game at one time or another, or doesn't at least know what it is.
Very long time ago.
Yeah, exactly. But everyone knows what Splinter Cell's about. Stealthing, going loud if really last necessary, completing objectives. The older styles were great. The modern one, I actually really enjoyed Blacklist, but they've removed the co-op side of things and all that.
You okay with that? What's going on?
Yeah, hiccups. Worst thing in the world.
But you're already choking on your words,
Yeah.
Tearing up at the eyes.
No, I'm not that bad, man. Don't worry. Now, Splinter Cell, as I said, is a game near and dear to my heart. It did so well for the first sets of games. Blacklist, sadly, did not do too well. That is just the truth of it. It wasn't as good as the others. I still think it was a pretty damn good game and really enjoyed it. It was a challenge. Just getting through was enjoyable, and I'm actually tempted to go back and play it every time I talk about it. So I suppose that might be my night again. But there's something else to mention about this, because there's been rumours of a new Splinter Cell game for a long time. There's been rumours of one for VR, which you guys have probably heard me mention on the podcast before. There was Ghost Recon Wildlands, which was a great game. And they had the guy who voice acted... why did I forget his name? What? Why have I forgot his name? Sam. Sam. Why have I forgot
Fisher
his name?
is for
That's
some
the
reason
one.
comes
Sam
to me.
Fisher. Yeah. Why
I
did I
haven't
forget
talked
that?
about these games in I'd say at least a decade, and the fact that I even know that's
Yeah.
kind of weird.
You see what I mean? They just kind of get ingrained. But they had Sam Fisher as an older guy come into it, and it was just after the death of the Metal Gear games. And a part of his basically statement was saying goodbye to Metal Gear Solid and to Kojima, saying that he was the last one left of this era. And then he turned up in Rainbow Six Siege as an operator and as a part of the story / a mentor to the rest. And then it's gone quiet again. Now, I don't like it going quiet because these games were some of the best that were out there.
They're
So,
scheming.
yeah. Oh, dear. Sorry. Yeah. I just want a new Splinter Cell game, preferably, but I can't see it. And I'm not even sure that it's because basically this one didn't do too well. I genuinely do have a semblance of belief that, yeah, apparently there is one in the works, a remake, which would be amazing, but officially, says who? A remake of 2002 Splinter Cell, when does it come out? To be confirmed, Ubisoft.
Oh no.
Okay? Like, nothing says here that it's been confirmed. Oh, wait.
Okay, fine.
This might be a little early for me.
This is almost 9 minutes long, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch the full thing.
This also does not look like a remake.
No, but that is coming from Ubisoft itself announcing it, so fair enough. Fair enough. As long as that's still in production, fair play.
The thing with remakes, even if it's just a full remaster game, so there's nothing new there, you're just making everything like up to modern day.
Oh yeah,
The thing that worries me, especially
with
with
remakes.
Ubisoft, is price tag.
Yeah,
Because people are going to be beyond pissed if you put a huge price tag on a game that's
Yep.
only a remaster. Because realistically, it's not new content.
No, not the slightest.
And if you're charging crazy amounts for just the same to play the same thing, but it looks better, people aren't going to be happy. And they've been
No,
coming off with some ridiculous things lately, as it is.
fucking Juju. So,
Now, I'm not saying give it away for free, obviously,
oh
but
no, like just go by the
what's
prices that
reasonable?
were back then. You know, like £30, £40, something like that. Anyways, so Splinter Cell pretty much apparently might not be dead, but he definitely died off. Yes, I'd say a part of it was due to Blacklist, which is sad because I truly enjoyed it, and so did a lot of others. But I think it was more due to the fact that Ubisoft kind of just got bored. They didn't know what to do with it anymore. They didn't know where to go from there. And that kind of shows with the fact that they're making a remake rather than creating something new with the franchise. They're
We
going
could
all in on their live service rather than making a new single player.
we could take the same approach to Saints Row. After the third, the fourth wasn't as good, and then Gat Out of Hell went downhill,
Yeah.
and then the remake was even worse. Like, should they have just stopped?
Oh,
Because the whole point of making more is because they want to continue the story, but unfortunately, it doesn't always go to plan, as we've seen with many games. But then at the
that's
same time, if you don't make any more, then people sort of just question or are like, so what? Is it just over?
that's the thing. Right now, I'd say with Splinter Cell, the reason they stopped is because they didn't want to ruin what they had. Truly, because it was one of the strongest franchises they had at the time, and that's why I'd say for the longest time we've not heard anything. They didn't want to fuck it up. Whereas with the Saints Row side, if they'd have stopped, that would have still caused an issue. Because same as with Splinter Cell, you think the series is dead. Now, all it takes is for the development team to sit down and actually focus on it. Create something that they think will be enjoyed by the player base that they currently have. Don't turn away from the people that you currently have. Focus on those because those are your valued customers that you've had the entire time. And the other thing I'd say is, in regards to Saints Row on that, if they'd have stopped, we'd have thought they were dead. What they did instead were they just alienated everyone and tried to make a brand new audience from scratch. That's where their problem lied, to be honest with you.
But at that point, do you not think it would have just been better for them just to not try and make another game?
Oh yeah, looking at it
given what
from
has
then,
happened,
yeah, looking at
given
it
what they did end up
back,
releasing,
definitely, it'd have been better off for them not to have.
yeah. When you're in at that time, when we're 10 years ago,
Yeah,
which is crazy to think, you want another game. You've enjoyed the other ones. It's about time. We're getting to that time frame where they should be at least announcing the game, let alone releasing it.
yeah.
But now you're looking at it and looking at what they did release. You're sort of thinking, would it have been better if they just didn't release another game?
Yeah, I mean, we should have kind of knew from Agents of Mayhem. Because that thing was fucking dog shit.
Because if you just either can't think of a good enough story or good enough gameplay or ideas or anything for a new game, they always had the option of just making a small amount of DLC that added another mission
Yeah,
on to the previous game that just ended the franchise.
yeah,
That brought the games to a close. They could have put some time into that. And
exactly.
then from there you move on to something bigger and better
Exactly
instead
that.
of just making more crap and then ending up, poof.
To be honest, I think what they did with Splinter Cell, Ubisoft could have done and learnt a lot for this series. Because, oh dear God, are they suffering right now?
I mean, everything Ubisoft is doing, they're suffering for.
Who that? So, Assassin's Creed. All the games. I still remember when there was only a couple numbers in this list.
Yeah, look at it now.
Yeah, look at it now. So, we're not going to go through the years on this one. I think it's easy enough just to cover pretty quickly with with Assassin's Creed. You don't have to go deep into this one to understand where a lot of the audience went and why they all got annoyed. So, why did the fans get annoyed with Assassin's Creed? Originally, the game started off fully story-based, intriguing. It was all about the history and this cult. Well, I say cult, but it's not really an incorrect way of describing them. These groups, the Templars and Assassins, fighting against each other for pieces of Eden, which somehow affect the real world. Bringing it into the real world with Desmond Miles and his group of people, and sometimes not even Desmond Miles. But then you've also got the assassins you play as: Ezio, Altair, Connor, Haytham, so on and so forth. Anyways, Assassin's Creed 2 was where a lot of people started from, and they continued it pretty well with Brotherhood. Revelations weren't bad. 3 was seen by many as a letdown. Black Flag, on the other hand, was seen as a pickup.
I mean, when you have as many games as this, you're
You're gonna
bound to
have
have a
ups
game
and
that,
downs.
yeah, you're bound to have one or two that doesn't perform as well
Yeah,
as previous or future ones.
but then you get to like modern day, don't you? Where Unity released, and then that wasn't very good. Assassin's Creed Syndicate, by most people, wasn't seen as the greatest, but it did have some good moments to it. The Chronicles games were pretty pointless, to be honest with you. Origins. Why? Odyssey, why? Valhalla, why? That's the questions I have for those three. Really cool environments. In none of them did I feel like an assassin.
Is it fair to say, Roy, that you used to be a huge fan of these games?
I used to be a huge fan of specifically the Ezio collection, and Black Flag was pretty good as well. We all know my opinion on Skull and Bones taking the enjoyable parts from Assassin's Creed Black Flag and just flushing them down the toilet and keeping the boring components.
They sunk into Davy Jones' locker, what can I say?
Oh, that they did. So, there's been a lot of debate over the years as to what people get annoyed by when it comes to the newer Assassin's Creed games to the older ones. Some people say it's the RPG mechanics, but technically there's RPG mechanics in the older ones. So, why would that annoy you? Which is fair. I personally don't like the fact that a hidden blade can't insta-kill, and that my stealth is being limited. When
as the years go on, mate, your aim got worse. You know, you just can't get people's hearts anymore.
Well, the part that's baffled me is I'm supposed to be an assassin, but I do less assassinations and more fucking running through the front gate screaming "ah" at the top of my lungs. So, like, you know what I mean? You're either the worst assassin that's ever fucking existed, or the fucking Crown King's jesters laughing at you with the poison he just placed in the King's Cup. You know what I mean? It's the dumbest shit ever. But people fucking love this. Personally, I'm of the mindset they should just remove Assassin's Creed from the title. Make something new, based very similar. Historical events, and just play as historical characters or whatever, or as a character you create in these historical events. I mean, who in hell's name would think of an assassinating Viking when Vikings are honor bound to fight face to face? I don't care about any of that. I just want, a bit like Splinter Cell, a game that I can just
goes
kill
back
people.
to its roots.
Yeah. So, and Assassin's Creed Shadow, we've covered this already, but I thought this may have gone in the right direction. Because it's literally got shadows in the name, you know. One's an assassin, but one's a samurai. And the samurai carries a massive fuck-off spiked war club. And you have to play as both. From the seams of things. And if that's the case, that means, yeah, I get to do some assassinating, but that also means I'm gonna have to run around with a giant fucking war club.
Yeah, at that point they just missed out as well on putting in two storylines.
Yeah.
Because they have two characters and giving people a reason to go back and play the game again.
Yeah.
Because you can play as a completely different character. Instead, they're forcing you to play the one you don't want to play.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they're gonna do it yet. It comes out 12th of November this year, so we'll see. But that's my reason, at least. I can't say for a fact, but I know a lot of people have similar reasons as me in regards to that.
I mean, from what you've said, you're essentially saying that they've gone off their path.
Yeah.
They had something going, and instead of continuing down that road and keeping that gameplay going, they just decided, you know what, let's take this left turn here, and completely fuck themselves.
Oh, definitely. That's pretty much what Ubisoft are well known for doing, to be fair. I don't think anyone could argue against, though. But, yeah, to be honest, Ubisoft probably let us down. A lot of us. And I know this episode's been longer than it usually is because we've been covering a lot of details. And I know a lot of these games, I can't even fucking believe that's still showing. Go away. Let's have a look at Valhalla, because I actually own it. And it's mostly positive, because if you do not look at this game as an Assassin's Creed game, it's pretty cool.
Nothing about that looks Assassin's Creed.
No, nothing about this entire set of trailers looks like you're an assassin. What it looks like is you're a Viking, which I don't mind.
I mean,
that.
it literally
It's
says
cool.
it in the description.
Yeah, it's quite cool. Become a legendary Viking on a quest for glory. Raid your enemies, grow your settlement, and build your political power. What the fuck about that is Assassin's Creed?
Absolutely nothing.
It literally says as well, you're not even an actual assassin. An assassin gives you a hidden blade. You don't use it like normal, though. You put it on top of your wrist, because it would be a shame to hide such a great piece of equipment, he says. So, now let's just go back. So, that was... Oh. That was Valhalla's description. Let's go back one. Let's go to Odyssey. Choose your fate in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. From an outcast to a living legend, embark on Odyssey to uncover secrets of your past and change the fate of ancient Greece. The only time that's mentioned in being an assassin? When it mentions the title. And also, you don't even get a hidden blade in this one. It's that broken spear. That's your hidden blade.
Seems very assassin-like.
Oh, I know, right? So let's go back one more to Origins. Oh, it's not on here. Okay, we'll drop back a bit further. Go Black Flag. Pirates have ruled the Caribbean, have established their own lawless republic where corruption, greediness, and cruelty are commonplace. Among these outlaws is a brash young captain named Edward Kenway. Doesn't state anywhere that that's an assassin, except one part. You know, the key features. Assassinate Templars in blooming cities. Let's go back one. Just quickly, let's see. Do we do any assassination? Oh, I guess not. How about in this one? Do we do any assassination in this one, Will? Fucking hell, this is even shorter.
Jesus.
They're getting shorter the more I fucking read. I guess not. So, what about this makes it Assassins? And that's why I think Assassin's Creed have truly lost the plot.
I mean, like as you're saying, there's nothing assassin about them.
No, not a thing.
These are just like their own sort of games with the Assassin's Creed title.
Yeah, personally, if you removed all the elements that make Assassin's Creed, it's literally just the Assassins, the Templars, the Pieces of Eden, and the Hidden Blades. You take those out, you've got pretty much a very decent historical accuracy simulator sort of thing, and you can fucking do entire stories. Just create a new MacGuffin. Your problem solved. But honestly, it does not need to be Assassin's Creed. I know that sounds like a dumb argument at times, but I feel more like this is becoming the way of things with Assassin's Creed in more recent years. But yeah, I think I've covered everything I wanted to cover. So unless, Will, you'd like to add anything?
Nothing that comes to mind.
It has been a bit of a ramble, hasn't it?
Just a tad.
Yeah, well. But it was a good ramble.
It's a shame though to go over it all and just see how many games have sort of started dropping off.
Oh yeah. Especially considering quite a few of these games we grew up with.
Yep.
That I think is actually the saddest part. When you grew up with such great franchises just for them to die off just so simply. Really is disappointing. But anyways, if you have enjoyed watching, feel free to like, follow, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff which I said at the beginning. We hope you have enjoyed, and we will see you all next time. Bye for now, guys.
See you again, guys. Enjoy.